Hi, everyone. This is Vanessa, also known as the International Immigrant, and welcome to my podcast. This is a place where we discuss everything immigration related, from the desire to work in another country for a few years, to test the waters, to studying abroad in the hopes of opening up some opportunities, and of course, full immigration with a cargo container of furniture and a residence visa stamped in your passport. If this is your first time and you want to know who I am and why I started this podcast, please watch or listen to the first episodes, as there are both audio and video versions available. Today, I'm going to be chatting to one of my students. She's from Korea. She has the most gorgeous little baby girl and now lives in Germany with her husband. So today we are going to discuss her immigration story. So please welcome Jiwon. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
It's very great, thank you. And I'm very happy to participate in your project.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I think your story will help many others. So firstly, please introduce yourself. Let us know where you live and your current situation.
Okay. Hello, my name is Jiwon. I had lived in Seoul in South Korea, and now I live in Berlin. And I'm a PhD student and study sustainable building.
Sustainable building, very good.
Yes, great. I started to have a family 2 years ago, and now I have a 1-year-old baby.
Wow, I know, and she's gorgeous. I've seen her many times before. She's just super cute. So you said you were in Germany. You said you were in Berlin. Okay. When did you move to Germany and why did you go there?
I have been in Germany for 7 years. And there are 2 reasons why I wanted to go to Germany. The first is an academic reason. I had already studied sustainable building in Korea, and I knew that Germany is very advanced in this area. So I had a dream to study in Germany about my topic deeply. And the second reason is work condition in Germany. I heard a lot the work condition and welfare system in Germany, and in Korea I didn't satisfied with this social condition in South Korea. So I would like to experience it in German.
Okay, very good. Just to clarify, the working conditions in Korea were more difficult because you were expected to work more hours, or like you didn't have much of a chance to have like a private life?
Yes, the situation in Korea is better, but I have worked in a small office. So we had to work a lot, and I had only 1 or 2 holidays.
Right.
So yeah,
so
I had no time for me, and sometimes I had to work on the weekend.
Wow. Okay. Very good. And so the experiences in Germany are a little bit different to that.
Very different.
Okay. Very good. So tell us about your experience at the beginning when you first got to Germany.
I knew no one in Germany. Wow. And I'm a type of person for whom it takes some time to make friends. So it was very lonely at the beginning.
Okay.
But fortunately, after some months, I got to know a friend who has studied Korean. And we shared an apartment together and learned together in the kitchen every day. So she taught me German and I taught her Korean.
Wow.
It was a good chance to improve my German.
Very good. So what was difficult at the beginning in Germany?
Everything. German was a big challenge to learn. Grammar was too difficult for me.
Really?
And when I could not speak German well, sometimes I felt ignored by a stranger on the street, for example.
So you tried to speak to people, but they walked past you, or they kind of looked at you and moved on, or they were a little bit dismissive of how they responded?
If they can't understand my pronunciation, then they make some
Sign?
some sign. Oh, it's too bad. For example.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I know.
But not always.
True. I mean, you get these people everywhere. I mean, New York has a
Yes,
terrible
it's
reputation for people not prepared to stop and talk to tourists.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what was easy about the beginning of your time in Germany?
Maybe nothing. Everything was very difficult. But if I should to tell you one thing, then it's food.
Really?
Many Koreans have difficulty to with the food because they miss Korean food a lot, but I don't. I enjoy the food in German, and I can be a vegetarian easily in Germany than in Korea.
Very good. That's something that you and I have in common. We're both vegetarians, and I understand that. Some places are almost impossible to be a vegetarian, like San Antonio, Texas. It was one of the biggest vegetarian challenges of my life. But yes, I understand.
Yes, I know.
So tell us about the cultural differences between Germany and Korea.
I divide each culture into individual-oriented culture and family-oriented culture.
Okay.
And German is very individual-oriented culture, and Korea is very family-oriented culture. I mean, Korean gets much support from the surrounding people. For it, they are expected by other people what they should do, what they should be.
Okay.
But in Germany, the individual is located in the center, so they can make their own decision.
So you like the fact that in Germany, you can make your own decisions, and that they don't necessarily affect, or your family doesn't make you feel like your decision affects them as much as this happens in Korea. Is that correct?
Oh, pardon me, can you explain again?
Sure. So basically, what I'm understanding from that is in Germany, you and your husband, for example, you can make decisions for your family. But if you were in Korea and you were married, every decision you made would affect your mother or your father or your extended family. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's right. I realized it very clearly after marriage.
Right.
Yes, my family in Korea supports me a lot, but they have many expectations from me.
Right.
But the family of my husband, they don't expect about us, from us, but and we expect nothing from them.
Very good.
So there are big difference.
However, if you needed them, they would be there?
Yes, if they can't help us, then yes.
So if they can help you, they would?
Yes, but as I said, we don't want to ask something.
Right. You don't want to burden them. Okay, I understand. So I kind of intervened a little bit earlier when you were talking. Were there any other cultural differences that you wanted to talk about between Germany and Korea?
Any other? I don't know. For example, with my husband, we feel no cultural difference because we would like be open to other culture. So yeah, until now we had no problem with cultural difference. And
what about friendships? Do friendships work differently in the two countries?
Maybe yes. In Germany, in my personal experience, I need some time to make a friendship.
Right.
But after I make friendship with German people, then it's like a family. We had a very close relationship.
Is it easy to make friendships in Korea, or does it also take some time to build them?
I think it's more quickly in
Okay.
Korea, I think.
Okay. Okay, very good. I understand that. I have also experienced that in different countries. Certain countries, it just takes a long time for people to warm up to you, and in other countries, they're just open quite quickly. So I understand that.
Yes,
So
I said I can make some friendship in Korea quickly, but sometimes it continue not for a long time.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a little bit different.
Okay, very good. I understand that too. Yes. Okay. So how long was it before you felt comfortable living in Germany?
After I could speak German, I felt very comfortable going everywhere and make some friends. And after I started to study at the university, I felt comfortable because I could belong to a group.
So how long did it take you to learn German, Jiwon?
For first year, I have learned only German in the language school.
Okay. Okay. So before you could begin your studies at university, you had to spend 1 year learning German in a language school.
After 1 year, I had to make a language test.
Okay. And you obviously passed that, no problems. You had a good understanding of the language then, and then you started what? You started a master's degree?
Actually, master degree only for a year because I have changed my university and began PhD.
Did you do an undergraduate degree? Did you do your 4 years of undergraduate degree in Korea and then move to Germany to do postgraduate work?
I have already studied master in Korea.
Okay.
And I have planned to make it again in Germany, but there are nothing different between Korea and Germany, so I quit my master. I will quit.
So the master's degree in Germany was basically the same as the one in Korea, so you didn't need to do it again.
What I have learned in Germany was almost same.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So how long have you actually been in Germany now? From the time that you arrived there, how long have you been now?
For 7 years.
7 years. Okay, very good. So you did 1 year of English studies, and then the next year you started a master's degree, you stopped it, and then you started your PhD.
Yes, right.
So you've been doing your PhD for 6 years?
Almost 6 years, and I have almost finished my work. Hopefully.
Very good. Just a quick question about that. Did the coronavirus, did the pandemic change that? Would you have completed it earlier if it wasn't for the pandemic, or has it not made a change at all?
No, for me, there are no difference. And only difference is I have to work at home, and it makes no difference for me.
Did having a baby make a difference to you in completing your PhD?
Yes. My baby is a big problem for my work.
I can imagine there are lots of parents out there who would agree with you. I can understand that.
Yeah, I thought baby slept every day, but it's not true.
Some of them sleep a little bit more than others, but yes, I have a friend in Canada who struggles more with her young one sleeping through the night, really. Then he sleeps quite well during the day, but anyway, she's having the opposite effect. So how do you feel about living in Germany now?
I feel I love to be here because I like the individual-oriented culture rather than the family-oriented culture. Here, I can be what I want to be, and I get no unnecessary interference.
Mhm.
For example, how I look like.
Okay, that's very interesting. You and I have discussed this before in lessons,
Yes.
but can you just tell the listeners a little bit more about that? Can you elaborate on that, like no interference for what you look like? Can you?
I mean, in Korea,
Mhm.
I get many comments whether I have to go to hairdresser or what I should wear.
Mhm.
And so from my family or relatives or my friends and so on a little bit.
And I mean, I know you. I've chatted to you for over a year now, and so you're not a big fan of makeup. I generally don't wear it in my daily life, and I think you're kind of like a t-shirt or sweatshirt and jeans kind of girl, and
Yes,
so
right.
that's obviously not what your family and friends or your family want you to wear back in Korea, I assume. Yes, you are
You're right.
not the first Korean to say that to me. Yes.
Really?
No, you are not. I've heard that many
Interesting.
times before. So do you regret the decision to move to Germany?
I regretted it only at the beginning. And at the time, I wanted to go back to Korea because there were many struggles.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't regret my decision anymore. But sometimes I feel sorry for my parents because they want to see my baby and me more often,
Mm.
but they can't. Mhm.
True, but do you, I mean, your little girl Hannah was born in the middle of the pandemic. Do you think if there wasn't a
Yes,
pandemic
right.
that they would have seen her more often? I mean, you told me your mother was planning on coming over and spending
Yes.
time with you, and she couldn't.
Yeah, right. My mother has planned to come to me and help me, but it was impossible in this time.
Right. But if there wasn't a pandemic, do you think that you would have seen them more often? I mean, she would have come to you. Maybe you would have already
Yes, you're right.
visited Korea with her.
Yes, right. My parents waited for a long time to become a
Grandparents,
baby,
grandparents.
grandparent. Yeah, right. So yeah, maybe
Maybe they just want to be
I
involved.
went
And
there.
I do understand that. I do understand that that is an issue that a lot of immigrants struggle with. It's something that has been said to me. I don't have children, so my parents have never really missed out on grandchildren. My sister doesn't have children, so my parents will never have grandchildren, and it's not something that is important to them. And I understand where you are coming from, because I think if I had had children, it would have made it more difficult to be an immigrant,
Yeah,
in
right.
that my parents wouldn't have been able to see them more often.
Yeah, I have planned to go to Korea in September, but I'm not sure because my baby can't wear the mask,
Does
and
she have to?
it's
I
not.
mean, when will she turn 1? In July, right?
Yes, right.
Does she have to wear a
September.
mask?
Uh, I think in the airport, everyone have to wear the mask for the babies don't have to, but for the for the healthy, I think.
For the health?
I mean, with the mask, we are sure.
Right. I don't know, because I don't have children. I had friends with children in Canada, and the rule at the time that I was there is, if your child was under the age of, I think it was 5, They did not have to wear a mask anywhere, in a store, in a restaurant, nowhere. My friend, whose little girl was 3.5, just taught her to wear a mask. The child enjoyed wearing a mask. But I think under the age of 5 or 4, they didn't have to. So I would be very surprised if, because when I flew here in December to South Africa from Canada, I took 2 planes and none of the babies or young children were wearing masks. So that surprises me, actually. Or is it more that you're concerned about it?
Yeah, right. And yeah, I heard we can get virus from the air.
Right.
And in the airplane, there are so many people in a small place. So
Correct.
I think everybody have to wear mask, and baby too. So yeah.
But you're still you are going back to Korea in September, right?
Yeah, I have planned.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are going to go regardless. Like, you just need to figure out how to keep a mask on, Hannah.
Yes, right. I'm not sure. Yeah, but I wait what it will be.
Okay, you are going to wait to see what the restrictions are.
Yeah, right.
Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. So you mentioned to me that you regretted it initially when you got to Germany. You had this moment of regretting the move. How long did that last? Like, how long from the time that you arrived in Germany to the time that you stopped regretting that decision, that you were happy about that decision?
As I said, after I studied here, I have enjoyed to study here.
Right.
Everything was very interesting. So, yeah.
So it was basically the language. It was the language that you struggled with the most.
Yes, right.
Okay, very good. So my next question is, were you confident about your decision back then? When you made that decision, were you confident about it?
Not completely. I worried about what could happen to me and where I could settle down there. Nevertheless, I wanted to go there.
And why Germany? Like, I know that you, which we'll talk about in a minute, you visited Canada, and there's the US and there's the UK and Ireland, which are big destinations for study abroad. So is Australia, especially for Southeast Asian people, because the distance is not so great. Why Germany?
I have traveled in Freiburg. Freiburg is a city in Germany, and this city was very interesting for me. This city is eco-friendly, and in the town, no cars can't go in. So in this city, I thought if I want to have family, then this city.
So it's an eco-friendly city where there are no cars allowed, and that really impressed you. Like, you thought, oh my God, in the future, if I have a family, this is where I want to live.
Yes, right.
Very interesting. Okay, so I know that you and your husband is from South Germany.
Yes.
And you plan to move to South Germany before the end of the year?
Yes, in the fall we are going to there.
Okay, great. So you're going to Korea in September for a month at this stage. Your husband will finish up his work in Berlin, and then when you return, you will travel together to South Germany, or will he go before you get back?
After the trip in Korea, we are going to meet in South Germany. Okay. In our new house.
Very good. And are you excited about moving from Berlin to South Germany?
Yes, right. But I worried sometimes because it will be a big change. Berlin is a very international city,
Mhm.
and there are many foreigners. But in the city in South Germany, we are going to live in the countryside, and there are few foreigners and very few Asians.
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 Mhm.
So yes,
So that concerns you.
yes. I don't know what happened to me and to my baby.
Right. But you have spent quite a bit of time in South Germany with your husband's family at the,
Yes.
so far.
Mhm.
And have you experienced any sort of racism or anything that would make you concerned about what you might experience in the future?
Racism. Yeah. Sometimes I meet such people,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's only small part of people. So I don't care about such people.
Right. So it's just this very small percentage of people that respond like this.
Yeah.
Not enough people to make you worried.
But my baby, maybe my baby get hurt from such people, and
Right. Right. And I
I
understand that. Look, I understand that completely. And I do know, unfortunately, with my experience and psychology degrees, that regardless of how well-rounded your child is, or regardless of whether your child is the perfect color and in the perfect place and their parents have money, other children will always find something to tease them about, because
Yes,
that's
yes,
what
right.
children do. I mean, no matter how perfect you are or perfect in the environment you are, other children will find something to tease you about.
Yeah,
And,
right.
you know,
Yeah, I have to learn my baby how she have to react for such people.
right, right. You are correct. Teaching our children resilience and being able to sort of potentially be compassionate in those moments and not take on that other person's anger or hatred or negativity is the only thing we can do when raising children. I know it's a different world now, I think. I also just quickly want to ask you to talk about your travels, because you traveled, was it just Canada that you traveled to before to stay with your aunt?
Yes, yes, my aunt lived there.
You traveled there before you settled in Germany?
Yes, I have visited my aunt, and I stayed there for two months, and I had a chance to learn English.
Very good. And this was in Toronto.
Yes, right.
And how was your trip in Canada? How was that?
In Canada, and especially in Toronto, there are so many Koreans.
I
So
know.
I felt that I am also in Korea. There are two Korean towns, and I can eat what I want to eat.
Very good. Very good. And did you enjoy the country from like the scenery or what you did? Was it easy to get around? Did you see much while you were there?
In Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. At the time, I was very young, and I got many friends in the language school.
Oh, very good.
So I was very active to see something new.
We all are far more active to see something new when we are younger. I agree.
Right, right.
So I just want to ask you now, would you encourage other young women to follow their immigration dreams?
Yes. For me, there were many difficulties and challenges. That's why I was very frustrated and disappointed at the beginning. But I realized that it is only part of the process to adapt to a new world.
Right.
So I want to tell the people who want to immigrate and me in the past that they should be patient at the beginning and judge their decision not too early. So
Right.
I think with the time, everything will be better.
That's very, very good advice. I agree with you. Very good advice. When you are first somewhere and you feel out of your comfort zone, everything is so huge to you and you just want to
right.
to what is comfortable. And I think you've just illustrated it now, talking to me about this, that if you just push through that difficult time, and that difficult time might be 1 month, it might be 6 months, it might be a year. And you said, you know, after a year of studying German and you understood the language more, you could communicate with other people more, your time there got better.
Yeah, right.
Very good. Very, very good. Is there anything else that you want to say to listeners? Or let me put it this way. Is there anything that you would say to young Korean women?
Young Korean women. Yeah. As I said, I was not satisfied with some Korean culture. So I find my solution in the other country. So I hope they should try to find their own solution,
their own way in life. You are saying that try it, like try it and see if you are unhappy where you are.
Yes.
Go somewhere else and see if that culture is better for you, is more similar to your personality, and where you will have a chance of being happier.
Yeah, when I was young, sometimes I feel very frustrated and I did nothing, but it was not true, not good. Yeah, I had to find my solution earlier.
I agree. But I mean, we do it when we're ready to do it. That's the one thing that I've noticed. I mean, I keep moving. I am still trying to get to the place that makes me feel the happiest. And I'm still doing this at almost 48 years of age. And I think we find what we need at the time that we need it. And maybe if you'd gone to Germany a bit earlier than that, you would have said, no, I can't do this, given up and gone back to Korea.
It's right.
And now you have a wonderful husband who I have met, and the most gorgeous little baby girl, Hannah. And I'm so happy for you, because I could just see that you are just so happy with this little girl. And so I want to thank you. Thank you so much, Jiwon, for coming on today and talking about your experience. And hopefully the words that you say will encourage somebody out there listening to take their own opportunity.
I hope, and it was also interesting for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you all for listening. And if you want to see the video version of this podcast, please go to my YouTube channel, International Immigrant, and subscribe to get updates whenever I add a new video. Please also head over to my Instagram, which is international__immigrant, and follow me. You get many updates, and there are many little pictures and videos throughout the week on that channel as well. For those of you listening to this podcast, please subscribe to be notified when I release new episodes. Also, if you have any questions that you would like me to answer in future episodes, please feel free to ask in the comments section on any of my platforms. And from my international immigrant journey to yours, see you next time.